thank the Father that He has allowed us to get to another set apart feast day. A beautiful feast day, a much needed feast day, a much needed day of rest. Hallelujah. I thank the Father. I thank the Father for my family that's scattered all around me. I thank the Father for this ministry. I thank the Father for my brothers. Y'all see, I got brothers, man. Pastor said it earlier on Blog Talk. He said this ministry ain't the ministry that come fooling with folk. He said the volume a little low, bro. This ain't the ministry that come fooling with folk, man. As you can see, man, it's consistent. We'll always be consistent. As long as we stay in the love of the Most High, y'all. And keep walking this thing out. Hallelujah. Somebody says sound. Hey, saints, before we go on, can y'all let us know how the stream is coming through, please? Give us a 10. Somebody say sound is low. Sound is low. Let us know, saints, volume low, brothers. Somebody say volume low. Volume low, like it's underwater. Volume low. I keep seeing this volume low stuff. Low volume. Is it up here on the laptop? It's up all the way. Alright, let's bring the mic in closer to something. Alright, well, I guess we gotta speak up. Let's try to speak up. How we sound now? Can y'all hear us now? Look like we gonna be yelling today. Can y'all hear us now? How does it sound, saints? Somebody type in, let us know how it sounds. Somebody said 5. Shit. God, y'all. Huh? This ain't much better on YouTube? So it's saying much better. Okay, there we go. 10 out of 10. Hallelujah. Well, 10 out of 10. Okay, hey, we're going to rock with it. 6 volume. Well, look, I don't know. I'm seeing 10s and 6s, 10s, 5, 10s, whatever. Let's rock. Hallelujah. Hey, man, what we start off with this week, man? It's been a cold, wet, rainy week all week here in Indiana. I'll tell you what, man, when Elder Becca and Brother Brett left, they took all the damn deer with them back down in Tennessee. They've been down there shooting the damn deer. Ain't no deer up here. Man, we've been in this woods, trying everything, you know, sitting in these stands for hours and hours and hours. I went in the woods 3 days ago, man. I saw one buck, and I crept in the woods too. Really, he saw me. He saw me first and took off running, and from that day, I didn't see another deer. I didn't see another deer after that. And today was our last day of rifle season, huh? Last day. That's all right, though, because I'm going to learn how to shoot a bow.
Throw some damn rocks at them.
Rocks, all that. We're going to be jumping out trees, all that. We're going to get us some deer.
Headlock.
Yeah. I see the turkeys coming out. It's getting ready to be turkey season, huh? I think. We got to look into that more. I hope it ain't no limitations, because I see a bunch of daggone chickens. Pickle jar, laughing out loud. Kool-Aid jar to pickle jar.
Put a clip note on that.
Hallelujah, man. Hallelujah. Yeah, man, but tonight, we got a little bit of an interesting topic that we're going to talk about tonight. And as usual, I'm going around the room. Brothers, don't be doing that shy mess tonight. I need brothers to speak up tonight. The brothers often hear me speak around here, and I always make a statement. And the statement is, good defenses communicate. You want to be a good defense, you got to communicate. Now, obviously, I got that from learning to play ball, right? And when especially now in the faith, when do we go on offense? Let me say that. We go on offense when we attacking Satan's kingdom with the casting out of spirits. We go on offense when an unction comes to pray, lay hands, things of that nature. We go on offense. And again, we understand here that as we go on offense, it's not us. It has nothing to do with us. It's Yahweh. It's Him. With that being said, we look at what we've always said here, right? Good defenses communicate. You got to be able to communicate. And if you look at Israel, Pastor says it all the time, it's written in the Word. We are people that just want to live a quiet and peaceable life. We ain't bothering nobody. We ain't for no foolishness. We're not doing anything to hinder anyone. Now, our prayer is that by our walk, the law will be fulfilled. People will see by the way that we love one another, and they will desire that same love. And with the desire of that same love, they will see in our actions who Yah is. They will see Yah in us, and then we will be able, by our walk, to show them who He is. Now, I know in this world, we're used to hearing by what you say. Okay, now we say too. You know, when it's time to speak, we speak. But with that being said, it's not about that. We want by our actions for people to see. So when it comes to communicating on defense, communication is everything. It's everything. If you can't communicate as brothers and sisters in this faith, if we can't constantly be in communication, we know one trick of Satan is to get you to isolate yourself. Is to get you to get by yourself. He wants to get you away from the saints. He wants to get you away from your brothers and sisters. Why? And majority of the time, I only say majority, it's really all the time, right? It comes through offense. He tries to get you to get away through offense, right? So, when we look at that, and we know a trick of Satan, right? How do we defend against that? Right? Communication. What communication do you allow? What communication do you allow to speak to you? Are you communicating with your brothers and sisters? I'm saying the word that there's safety in the multitude of what the counsel, right? There's safety there. What are you communicating? Are you open? Because this is your defense. Are you open to speaking to your brothers and sisters? Those who are on homesteads, we fresh in community. We are approaching 1 year. 1 year. And even in the case of what we just said, when it comes to communicating, man, when it comes to communicating with one another, how vital is that? How vital is that when Satan go to try to get you to isolate yourself? How vital is that? How vital is communication? In that instance, with your brothers and sisters, I want somebody to speak up to it.
It's extremely vital because proper communication eliminates any and all gray. And just by you saying this, as far as defense, my mind goes right back to football. Football was the ultimate team game. So I look at being in this faith now. This is the ultimate team game of life. Because if you compare football, you're only strong as your weakest link.
Yep.
How does the Most High act? When you're in community, we're only strongest as our weakest link.
Yep.
So if one saint fails, we either got to fill in that gap or we fail. If one sin destroys much good. If their sin in the camp, you're gonna know it because everybody's gonna suffer.
Yeah.
So, and with that comes communication, deliverance, counsel, advice, humble yourself, just seeking to get clean. And if you can't do that, that means you're not willing to communicate, and it's gonna crumble from within.
That's what this whole thing is, man. Because when you realize, look at Israel of old, man. Look at Israel throughout the whole word. Yahweh fights for he goes on off. Now he's gonna use you, but he's the one that goes on offense. But all he tells you to do is defend, guard, keep. Another way we defend is what? Another way we guard to do what? Is his commandments. Now, truthfully, does Yahweh need us out here marching in the street talking about how we guard his commandments? No. He wants you to guard them when they come to you. Guard his commandments, man. Keep them. Do them. Constantly. That is a form of defense. Because guess what? At the end of the day, if you ain't guarding his commandments, what's going to turn around and happen? You're exposed. You're that lone wolf. You're that lone lion. You're that lone sheep who's by yourself. And again, as Rob alluded to, especially on community, man, we are learning. Every single person, man, every single person feels it when somebody falls, man. When somebody's in a way. When somebody's off in the distance by themselves. Everybody feels it. Because where do you go to ask them? Where they at? Where's this person? What's going on? What's this? What's that? And these brothers know around here. I ask. Do I ask that question? Daily. Hey, you alright? What's going on? What's this? Because I be wanting to know. Because everybody is at stake, man. Not having and not really taking this defense into account, what it really shows too, man, at the end of the day is what's in you. Because this should be the number one thing on our mind, man, is like, hey, stay clean. Number one for the Most High Yah and for the love of the brethren. We're supposed to be fulfilling the commandments. Loving Yahweh Elohim with all his heart, mind, and soul, right? And loving our brethren, loving our people, loving the brothers and sisters as ourselves. That's why we got to guard these commandments, man. I want to hear from somebody else too. Going on good defense and guarding these commandments. Somebody speak up.
Another thing is...
make sure you speak up so they can hear.
Yes, sir. Miscommunication.
Mm-hmm.
When I listen to sister,
yes, sir.
When Sister Ashley speaks, she always alludes to, what are you hearing? Something might be communicating, but your mind might be completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And you might hear another thing that's being said or taken the wrong way because Satan is communicating something different to you. So you're going to receive that rather than the goodness of Yah. And like you say all the time around here, Dan, is the kingdom. We have one goal with the kingdom. So if you're not listening to the owner of the kingdom, you commit adultery. Right?
Man, come on.
Like you was talking about this week. So just that could be miscommunication. But again, though, one sinner can destroy much good. Even on the football field, one wrong step can destroy a whole play.
Yep.
It can go for 80 yards.
Quick, running back be hitting his head on the goalpost. That's true. What he's saying, man, has been on my mind literally for like the last 5-6 weeks. Is how adulterous Satan can have us in our thoughts if we ain't playing defense. That thing has been hitting me. Because what are you really doing? If I'm a man and I say that the Most High Yah, I am the bride of Messiah, the bride of Christ, right? If I am listening to Satan, I have then become an adulterer, man. Why? Because I'm listening to another master. I'm not listening to who my master is, what he instructs, what he says do. And this is a fight. And what comes to my mind all the time is how much the Most High really, truly loves us. Like I'm telling you, man, if he was to snap his fingers, man, and just wipe out everything, he'd be completely justified in it. He literally. Because the thing is how much do we really, truly got to fight against this? Listening to another master? As a man, bro, when you realize your responsibility, man, when you realize the responsibility of your family, your wife, your children, when you realize the responsibility to love them, when you realize the responsibility to love your brothers and your sisters, and then all of a sudden, that comes from your master, right? That's what the Father has, that is what the Messiah instructs us to do. And then all of a sudden, you walking out in the fence. All of a sudden, you listening to the wicked one. All of a sudden, you acting out in what he submits to your mind. You become adulterous in your damn mind, man. And this thing is terrible when you think about it. It's really, really, truly terrible. And I'm just speaking to the men right now. I'm just speaking to the men. And see, what I think about is this is in a spiritual sense, right? First that which is natural, then which is spiritual, right? This is which is in a spiritual sense. And here's the reason I say that. Is because I'm going to talk to the women too. Because a lot of times your head, your master, your leadership, whoever it is, if you ain't married, is sitting right in front of you. So when they give an instruction, and you listen to the wicked one, what's going on in your mind? Whose commandment matters to you? Your husband's? Or the wicked one? Who are you submitted to, man? This thing is really something truly to think about, man. This thing has been on my mind, man, for like I said, the last 5-6 weeks. Who you really listening to? Are you listening to the Savior of your body? Or are you listening to the destroyer of your soul? Which one? All for what? All for what is the goal constantly on our mind? I'm going to tell you what has been hitting me. I alluded to it last week, but the stream was all messing up, right? But when I was at Dad Dow's burial, I remember, what's Brother Ron's from Clarksville? What's his, what? Sister Tamar. She gave a testimony of Dad Dow, and what she said was, every time she would go talk to him, she said, "Oh, Dad Dow, how you doing? You know, what's on your mind? How you feeling?" And he would always say, "I got the kingdom on my mind. I got heaven on my mind. I got heaven on my mind." And when I think about that, man, 81 years, and you got people that's been around him for years, and that's their testimony of him. That was what was constantly on his mind, was the kingdom. And when I heard that, I said, good gracious. That was a man who constantly, there was nothing that was going to sway him. And when I was driving home, I was just thinking about that. I was asking the Father, please. That's the mindset that I want to be in all the time. I want to be in that mindset. To have the kingdom on my mind constantly and do whatever it takes to get there. I used to be afraid in prayers. Like it would be in my mind to speak it. To say, Father, by any means necessary. I gotta get there. Do whatever you see fit. I used to be so afraid to pray that. At times I pray that I still tremble. I tremble speaking that because when you read this word and you read about what these holy men went through, you should be like, damn. But at the same token, bro, at the same token, he gives you so much. When you realize what he is going to do for his people, when you realize the promises that he has for his people, there's nothing worth it, and there's no one worth going to hell for. Nobody. So what defense is on your mind? Don't the word talk about when we finally see the wicked one, we're going to be like, it was him? This is the one. This is the one.
You could guard your ear gate.
Gate. Come on, bro.
Defense.
Defense. That we couldn't guard ourselves against? That's him? This is the mindset This is the mindset that we gotta have. Constantly. What you got, bro, Sam? I see you got something open that you want to speak about. Oh, okay. What comes to your mind about defense? Anything that comes to your mind, bro?
It's kind of, if you go back to the armor of Yah, if you look at it, there's nothing that's defensive about it because your back is covered, is uncovered. So if you turn and you're expecting Yah to do the fighting in terms of keeping yourself safe, you're going to lose because the armor he's giving you is for your front.
Yep.
Everything is for your front. So you have to keep pressing and making sure that you fight against Satan. Because the weapon he gives you to thwart Satan is the shield of faith. To catch and to extinguish all the fiery darts of the wicked one. So it's like Shepherd tells us, it's like the word tells us, and I'm learning, especially in, living Hebraically, agriculture and everything, you have to be proactive.
Yes, sir.
You will not have any food on your table if you're not proactive in the growing season. You won't have any food, or you won't have any meat in your freezer if you're not proactive in freezing your ass off trying to get a deal. You won't have anything in this life. There will be no inheritance for the children. There will be nothing for the generations to come. There won't be anything if some man is not proactive in staying ahead of the flesh and staying ahead of Satan trying to get to that flesh. So you have to be defensive and understanding, like the word says, that we're not ignorant of the devil's devices. And we know, because the Most High Yah warns us, there's warning that always comes before destruction. The Most High Yah always warns us of what's going to happen when Satan is coming to try to destroy, and he makes a way of escape every single time.
Every time.
But you have to be proactive to take that way of escape. The kingdom is suffering violence, but the violent take it by force.
By force. By force, man. That's so good, man. This thing is about enduring, man. That's why when you got people walk around saying, I'm saved, sanctified, when the word tells you those who endure to the end shall be saved. Teacher Shane, man, that message last week, man. That message last week, man, was so beautiful. And one of the parts that got me was when he broke down suffer. Because again, we look in our mindset and we hear the word suffer, and it's a bad thing. It's just like, I'm suffering through this and suffering. It's just like, it comes with all of this heaviness and just, but when you really look at this thing Hebraically, how this word speaks about it, it means to remain, abide, endure. These words are attached to suffering. To suffering. Because here's the thing, can't nobody walk on this path with you. Nobody can walk on this path with you. It's you and you gotta walk this thing. And all the more we learning this thing, man. Because it's real easy to fall, which we should, as brethren. Man, I should be able to fall to my right and my left on my brothers and then be able to hold me up. And they know they get the same thing for me. But at the same time, that can't be, that has to be at the time it's needed. I gotta really lean on what y'all is saying. Same thing with the wives. You can't just lean constantly, or I'm just leaning, which you should to a degree. Again, understand what I'm saying, on your husband, but it should be to please y'all. You can't ride his coattail. It's gotta be y'all's on your mind. His kingdom is on your mind. You gotta walk this thing. What is it? What is it? We're talking about second edges the other week, huh? What are you talking about in second edges when you walking down the path and one side is wall and one side is fire? And it's a narrow way. Come on, man. Only one person can go at a time. This is what I'm talking about. When you see, again, we're supposed to be the precious jewels, man. I know one thing. I'm tired, man, of looking at my former life and trying to. I'm trying to purge constantly. That was the word. Purge, because that was something that Pastor Dow said about Dad Dow. This stuck with me. He said a whole bunch of things, but he kept saying purge. When he said that, it just stuck with me. I talked to Elder Becker. I was just like, purge. I said, man, that thing stuck with me. And then Elder Becker said something to me. He said, yeah, it's painful too. It's painful. Because at the end of the day, you can go outside and pick up rocks all day, but what is that worth? You can go out there and get an abundance of rocks. But how hard do you gotta dig and sweat and search to find one piece of gold? How hard, man. It ain't gotta be a big piece, it be that much, but it'd be worth more than every single rock that you done picked up. You got a whole truckload of them. And then they go back and try in the fire. And that fire hot. I'm learning, man. But at the end of the day, what is the goal? Because I'm telling you what, I want to be a part of the number. I want to be a part of the promises. Constantly. That is what's on my mind. I got to get to this kingdom. And I want to be there with my brothers, with my sisters. Because I've been shown the way. And that's what I keep trying to tell y'all out there who I speak to every now and then on the phone, who I know I see coming on here. I'm looking at the phone, I see y'all who have came on here. That's what I keep trying to tell y'all. The way, he's the way. He has found, I will never know. He found me. I was running. But when you start to see the promises and what he's going to do to your enemies, see, he's going to go on offense. All he wants us to do is guard, defend his commandments. How do you do it? By doing them.
By doing them.
Just do them. And stop fighting. Stop fighting. Go to Isaiah. We're gonna read about how much he really loves his people. Isaiah 41. He has so many guarantees for his people, bro. Do you know what he's gonna do to the nations, bro? All of them that have afflicted us, all of them throughout our entire existence, through our fathers, our forefathers, our grandparents, like, do you know what he's going to do to them? And all he tells us to do is stand guard, endure. Endure. Like every single testimony I heard about Dad Dow. Man, that thing struck me, bro. Because it's different. It's different. I done been to, I don't know how many funerals. I saw my own father get put in the ground. And what I saw 2 weeks ago hit me different. Why? Because you know beyond a shadow of a doubt where his soul rests. Because he did what you're ascribing to do. What you're trying to do. He did it. How many times we got to hear Pastor say he gave all? Isaiah 41. Let me hear it, man.
Keep silence before me, O islands.
Okay, keep silence before him, O islands. Anytime you read islands, isles, nation, he's talking about the nations. He's talking about everybody else but Israel. Keep going.
And let the people renew their strength.
Let who?
The people.
The people. Who is he saying are the people?
His people.
His people. It's Israel. If you read the law, he tells you that we are the only people. Keep going.
Renew their strength.
Yep.
Let them come near. Then let them speak.
Yeah.
Let us come near together to judgment. Who raised up the righteous man from the east.
Okay. So he said, let us come near to what?
Judgment.
Judgment. Because judgment will start with us first. Keep going.
Who raised up the righteous man from the east.
Yep.
Called him to his foot. Gave the nations before him. And made him rule over kings.
There you go.
He gave them as the dust to his sword, and as driven stubble to his bow. He pursued them and passed safely, even by the way that he had not gone with his feet. Who hath wrought and done it, calling the generations from the beginning? I, Yahweh, the first, and with the last, I am he.
That's him. You see how you speak? Keep going. Watch how good this thing gets.
The isles saw it and feared.
Okay, the isles. These are the nations again. They saw it, and what did they do?
Feared.
They feared. Keep going.
The ends of the earth were afraid.
Yep.
Drew near and came. They helped everyone his neighbor, and everyone said to his brother, be of good courage. So the carpenter encouraged the goldsmith, and he that smootheth with the hammer him that smote the anvil, saying, it is ready for the soldering. And he fastened it with nails, that it should not be moved.
Okay, now watch this. All of their encouragement, even though they feared, came amongst themselves. Now watch who encouraged us. Israel. See, this is why we got to just stay on the defense, because he going to fight for us. Watch the guarantees. Go ahead.
But thou, O Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. Thou, whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, thou art my servant. I have chosen thee, and not cast thee away.
He has chosen us. We are a servant. He has called us, and he has not cast us away. Okay, so then you go years and years and years and years and years later. Didn't Paul say the same thing? Didn't he say the same thing? He has not cast us away. He is not going to do it. All we got to do is endure. All we got to do is stand, man. All we got to do is defend. And how do we defend? Communicate. And then block whatever communication that we know is going against Yahweh. He don't make it hard. Do you make things hard for your children? To understand, you make it simple. Look, do this, don't do this. It's simple. Now, I'm not saying in function like we just got it all together, because we're constantly, again, purging. We're purging, but the instructions are still the instructions. All we got to do is do them, man. Keep going.
Fear thou not, for I am with thee.
Look at that.
Be not dismayed, for I am thy Elohim. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness.
He will uphold thee. See, you can't let this thing just pass. Whew. Read that part again.
I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness.
He will uphold thee with what?
The right hand.
With the right hand.
Of my righteousness.
Oh, of his righteousness. The right hand just ain't your right hand, right? It's your strength. It's your power. It's your authority. Okay, so Yeshua, salvation, Jesus the Christ, he's seated on what?
The right hand.
The right hand. The right hand of the Father. So here it is again. In the prophets, he's telling you who he's going to uphold you with. And here it is, a couple thousand years later, he sent that right hand. He sent that authority. And what did he do? He upheld us. And again, what did he proclaim? Do what I tell you. At that point, the Father ain't had to say no more. Because here it is. He's like, look, I ain't got to speak from heaven no more. All I got to do, because literally, I'm him. I just put myself in the flesh. Here it is. Now I'm going to give you a literal, you can see with your own two eyes. My right hand, my authority. We saw on the mountain of transfiguration, what did he say? This is my beloved son, who I'm well pleased. Hear him. Did he sit there teaching and doing all? He said, hear him. Yeshua got baptized. That's my beloved son who I'm well pleased. What you got to do? You got to hear him. He sent his right hand, right? Keep going.
Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed.
All them that were incensed against thee shall be what?
Ashamed.
Ashamed. He gonna bring them all to shame. Now, do I gotta walk around like these black Hebrew Israelites telling folks, y'all gonna bring you to shame? Lick my boots. I ain't gotta do that shit. I ain't gotta do none of that. All I gotta do is keep walking. Keep doing what he tell me to do. Keep going.
And confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish.
You see that? They're going to be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall do what?
Perish.
They're going to perish. Y'all know what I'm getting ready to say. Eternal word. For Yah so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not what?
Perish.
Perish. That's eternity. How do I know that? Continue the verse. But have what? Everlasting life. That's eternity. So he's letting you know, the people that stand up against you, Israel, if you literally communicate with one another and stand with this defense, stand, guard these commandments, do it, it's instructed, all of them going to perish. Every one of them that stood up against you. He going to fight. He going to go offense. He going to slay them all. I'm telling you right now. You read it in the Revelation of the Messiah. He turned around. He going to gather us up. He said he going to send that sharp sickle, man. And it's just going, if you don't know the sickle is how they get weak. Just, the harvest going to be ready. When the harvest is right, he said the harvest of the earth is ready. That sharp sickle going to come. And then at that point, he going to separate the wheat from the tares. We just got to make sure we weak. Straight up. Keep going.
Thou shalt seek them, and shalt not find them. Even them that contended with thee.
Hold on. They shall seek them and what?
They shall not find
Who
them.
they seeking after us? Because they're going to realize, oh my goodness, all these people that we did all this to, them was really the ones. You know? They was really the ones. You see? Keep going.
Even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing.
Come on, man.
And as a thing of naught.
Everybody that warred against Israel, they're going to be as nothing. Because he's going to go offense and tear them up. Keep going.
For I, Yahweh thy Elohim, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not.
There you go.
I will help thee.
Come on. He going to hold their right hand. He gonna that strength. When I think about it, I laugh. I smile. My brothers around here know I like to laugh. I like to smile. Because you get strengthened when you do it. Because when you hear something like that, you can't do nothing but just laugh and smile. Joy comes to you. Why? Because the joy in Yahweh is my strength. He strengthens me, man. He strengthens me, man. You see? Keep going.
Fear not, thou worm Jacob.
He calling him a worm. If you look at it, it's talking about, if I'm not mistaken, it's the color. It's a royalty. It's a royal color. Okay, keep going.
And ye men of Israel, I will help thee, saith Yahweh, thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small.
Okay, so I even wrote it there. Stop. Reading that. Go back to Isaiah 40 and read verse 4. We're going to continue. Read Isaiah 40, verse 4. Just turn one page to your left. Go ahead.
Every valley shall be exalted.
Every valley, that's down low, shall be exalted. Didn't David say, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for Yahweh with me. Right? So the valley is the low. He said he's going to exalt the valley. Keep reading.
And every mountain and hill shall be made low.
Every mountain and every hill, he's going to make them low. Everybody that exalted themselves, Satan himself said, he's going to be on the mountain. Didn't he say that? He's going to make him low. That is why if your mindset can't come from that valley, from that low part, and you exalting yourself, you bring, Yahweh say you lift his name up. You lift his name up. He's going to draw all men. Not you. Go back. Go ahead.
And beat them small, and shall make the hills as chaff.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away.
Yeah, nothing. He's going to make them as chaff. He's going to fan them. Keep going.
And the whirlwind shall scatter them. And thou shalt rejoice in Yahweh, and shalt boast in the Holy One of Israel.
We're going to rejoice in Yahweh, and we're going to boast. A lot of folks say we ignorant. I'm not ignorant, but arrogant. And when you really think about it, they say you arrogant. Oh, how do you talk like that? But they really don't realize we ain't doing nothing but boasting in Yah. We ain't doing nothing but boasting in him. Boy, I'm going to boast too. I'm going to boast because he's good. He's good, man. Keep going.
When the poor and needy seek water,
Look at
there
that.
is none, and their tongue faileth for thirst, I, Yahweh, will hear them.
There you go.
I, the Elohim of Israel, will not forsake them.
Okay.
I will open
Hold
them.
on. You remember the woman at the well? Same thing every single time, right? Poor and needy. What did he say? The poor and the needy seek water, and there is none. And the tongue faileth for thirst. I, Yahweh, will hear them. He told the woman at the well, if you knew who was asking you for something to drink, you'd be asking me. Because the water I give you ain't never going to thirst again. This thing going to spring up like rivers of living water in you, ain't? This water, you ain't going to thirst no more. Okay? Keep going.
I will open rivers in high places.
Yeah.
And fountains in the midst of the valley.
Aha! He'll open up fountains where?
In the midst of the valley.
Read Isaiah 40 and verse 4 again.
Every valley shall be exalted.
You hear that? Every valley shall be exalted. Now go back to 41. Read that verse again.
I will open rivers in high places.
He said he will open up rivers in high places. Keep going.
And fountains in the midst of the valley.
And fountains in the midst of the valley. Keep going.
I will make the wilderness a pool of water.
Okay, come on, man. Keep going.
And the dry land springs of water.
Okay, so now you tell me something. The wilderness dry and desolate, ain't it? The only reason it's going to be a pool of water because there's people there. Because we got that water in us. He said he's gonna make the wilderness like that, right? Okay, so how do we know that? Because guess what? He don't change. He took the people out of Israel, sent them into the wilderness. When you look all the way to the end, and all of this is going to happen. The dragon was wroth with the woman and the remnant of her seed. Them that keep the commandments and have the testimony of Yeshua. But where was this woman at? And where was the seed at? In the wilderness. He gonna do the same thing again. He said ain't nothing new under the sun. His plan don't change. And he gonna purge us to there and get us right. So we can enter this kingdom, man, through them 12 gates, righteous, holy, rejoicing, joyful, thankful. You see what I'm saying? Keep going.
I will plant in the wilderness the cedar, the shittah tree, and the myrtle,
Look at that.
and the oil tree. I will set in the desert the fir tree, and the pine, and the box tree together.
Basically, I'm going to put a whole bunch of life there. Whole bunch of life. Keep going.
That they may see and know, and consider, and understand together, that the hand of Yahweh hath done this.
Yeah.
And the Holy One of Israel hath created it.
You see that? They're going to see that the hand of Yahweh has done this. Because I tell you what, we're going to be rejoicing and saying hallelujah. Glory to the King. This is your doing, Yahweh. And it is marvelous in our eyes. This is you. This ain't got nothing to do with us. This is you. You see? This is why we got to go through this life defending. We got to hear that. We got to hear our husband. We can't listen to the wicked one. That's got to be the goal. That's who we got to hear, man. We can't go around listening to what Satan submits to our mind. You know, that loud ass voice. They want you to do everything contrary to what Yahweh is actually speaking to you softly if you're actually listening. I remember Shepard said something a couple weeks ago where he said when you pray, sometimes just shut the hell up. You pray, now shut up and just listen. Meditate. You read something. I find myself at times doing it. I'll read something and I'll read something and I'll just sit back. It ain't deliberate. It just happens. You read it, you just sit back in your chair just thinking about what you read. You literally are chewing on the word just like. And when the Father just sitting there, just sitting here, and it's so simple, but yet it's so rich, it's so good, it's so pure, and it's just like, you see what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. Keep going.
Produce your cause, said Yahweh. Bring forth your strong reasons, said the King of Jacob.
Okay, now he's talking to the wicked now. He said, go ahead. Let me hear your cause. Let me hear your reasons. Keep going.
Let them bring them forth and show us what shall happen.
Mm-hmm.
Let them show the former things what they be, that we may consider them.
Yeah, he's letting into. Look, let me show me the former things. Show me what happened before. You know, when and Yahweh speaks like this all the time. What did he tell Job? He said, okay, Job. You tell me. Before Job said, I put my hand on my mouth and I shut my mouth, right? Okay, you tell me, man. What's the way to fight? What you explain firmament. You know, because you obviously you speaking like you were there. So he's saying the same thing. He's saying the same thing. I tell you all the time when I read Proverbs, man, I think it's chapter 8 when he say, that he gave the command to the sea to stop, literally at the shore. And then you think about you on the beach in the water doing like this. And it just stops and goes back in. It stops and goes back in. It stops and goes back in. That was by command. That was by command. We was reading in the morning the other day. When the Father talking about the dust, I remember it used to blow my mind when he talked about he even your hair is numbered. But when I read, remember we was reading the other day, he talked about even the dust. The dust is measured. What? All that can come through my mind is the summertime, bro, when the rays come through the house. And you'll see the little dust particles. And I'm sitting there thinking about this, like, you want to sit here and tell me, Yahweh got all that numbered, and it's by measure? This is him. And we got the nerve to listen to a wicked one who is the destroyer of our soul. He ain't coming to do nothing but steal, kill, and destroy. And we want to listen to that. No, man. This is too heavy. Keep going.
That we may consider them and know the latter end of them.
So you say, tell me the things of former. Now go ahead and tell me the things in the latter days. Go ahead.
Or declare us things for to come.
Yeah.
Show the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that ye are Elohim. Yea, do good or do evil.
Yeah.
That we may be dismayed and behold it together.
You see that? He said, go ahead, do good, do evil. So we can sit there and be in awe. We can marvel at your works. You see, now he's speaking to the prideful. Go ahead, you show me. You see? Then we can marvel at what you talk about. This is how he speaks. Because he can speak like this. Because he's the king. Point blank, period. Okay? Go down to, what's that? Go down to the last verse.
Behold, they are all vanity.
Yeah.
Their works are nothing.
Yeah.
Their molten images are wind and confusion.
There you go. So again, who are we listening to? What defense are we really putting up? The word is the defense. All we got to do is to submit to it. And it starts with us men. All we got to do is submit to the word and do it. All the women got to do is submit to who is the head over you. That's it. Again, am I sitting here boastful saying it's just an easy thing? No, because you're still fighting your wicked ass flesh. But we got to be able to guard this. It's amazing to me. You look at the last, the messages has been coming forth, man. Out of this ministry. You ain't never heard no preacher like this nowhere ever, man. Have you heard nobody preaching what Pastor Dowd been preaching the last 2, 3, 4, 5 months? This thing went to another level. You ain't never heard nothing like this. Teacher Shane last week. You ain't never heard nothing like this. Teacher Eric's teachings coming out every Friday night. You ain't never heard nothing broke down like this. We've never heard it. And what is it? Majority of these last weeks, what is it talking about? Guarding here. Guarding your mind. Realizing that the war is right here. And if you don't get this right, if you don't get your thoughts in check, you will continue to recycle the same emotions every single time. If you don't get them thoughts in check, you will continue to recycle the same emotions. The same thing will come upon you every single time. What's that? Heaviness, weary, you're tired. Because Satan beating the hell out of you because you're adulterous in your thoughts instead of submitting to your master and doing what he says to do. And see, this is another good thing, is the fact that why it's so important for you to get the hell out of them damn cities. Get the hell away from people that mean you no good. You know exactly who they are. And get around some folk that you know is really walking this thing out. That is the ticket. That is the ticket. That's our way in. Because I know at the end of the day, I talked to Rob today. I thanked Rob for talking to me today. Didn't I tell you? I said, ain't no man above reproach, man. Hell. Look, man. They know that's how we roll. As men around here, that's how we roll. If we see another brother in some foolishness, if we see another brother slightly falling into something, if we see, nah, man, hey, come here. Let me talk to you. I ain't got no, look, there's no problem amongst us humbling ourselves. We will humble ourselves. Quick. I jumped all over Brandon this week for something. Jumped all over. Am I lying? Trey said, man, you went from a 0 to 100, man. That's what he told me. Jumped all over Brandon for something this week. When I came in, I asked Brandon. Brandon said, but if you remember, you told me to do this and this and this and this. What'd I say, Brandon? Yeah. I turned around and said, you right. Damn, I did tell you that. My bad. You're right. I did say that. You see what I'm saying? We gotta have this thing constantly, man. We gotta have this thing constantly amongst each other, man. And listen to y'all, man. And to the ones that really matter. Communication. Communication goes back to it.
There's one thing, man, I learned in football, man, especially in college, man. My linebacker coach always said, man, communication is the key to success.
Yep. That's it.
And that's even in this walk. Communicate.
Now, are we talking about you just going and spilling every single thing you've done in your former life, every single thing you do, and just spilling it on the next man? Because again, you know the balance. So don't come with that shit. You know exactly what it is. You ready for that viper that's biting the hell out of you to go bite somebody else. You know exactly what it is. But you know when you really truly struggling, you can go to your brothers and sisters, but that pride rises up in you, thinking that, nah, I'm gonna handle this on my own. I got this. I'm gonna figure it out. You ain't figured out your whole life, but now all of a sudden you can figure it out. You got the answers. No, man, we gotta humble ourselves. We gotta humble ourselves. All good defenses communicate, man. All of them communicate. You got to be able to communicate. With brothers and sisters that you know care about you. That's why it's so important to get around brothers and sisters that you know care about you. Not go to every church every single Sunday or once a week thinking that you know the person. You don't know what the hell they doing. Hell. You think you know somebody you see him once a week, and you might be sitting right next to Jeffrey Dahmer. Oh, y'all under 25 don't even know who the hell I'm talking about. What do you say, young Thundercats? Oh man, well, anybody got anything else, man? You said Rob Old. He took what he said. Leave back there, gentlemen, man. Hey, I tell you what, man. Seeing Dre down there, that's who it was. I blamed Elder Beckham. It wasn't Elder Beckham. It was Dre. It was Frog Man.
Damn, Bama.
He the one took all the damn dead down in Tennessee. He was the one took all the deer down there with him. He down there shooting and sending pictures. Hey, I'm coming back up there with some deer for y'all. Hey, man, you done took all the damn deer down with you.
Rubber band, man.
Hey, glory to the King. It's good seeing that we can constantly fulfill what is written. You know, seeing our brother enter into a city and finding them there that are worthy. It's a beautiful thing, man. We're looking forward to seeing you coming back. All of Israel, we love you. We love you. We love you. We love you. We love y'all, man. We love y'all. And we love y'all because he first loved us, man. Straight up. And Brother Daniel, I hope that something that was said tonight, man, really sticks out to you. And causes you to communicate more with them that you know really truly love you. Again, I'm Brother Dan. This is Lionsgate. That law, baby. Finish on what's up.